CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe is standing by with more on what the Biden administration is doing to boost supply. Ed, thanks for joining us. So we know that the president met with manufacturers and retailers of formula. The plan is to step up, focusing on cutting regulation, focus on price gouging, and increasing foreign imports. Now, price gouging isn't going to miraculously create more formula availability, but the other two will. Can you talk to us about, what the plan is to get more cans on shelves?
Well, this is one of those government, how does government respond stories that starts somewhere far from the White House but quickly becomes a White House concern. And that's what you saw yesterday as they quickly arranged this meeting for the president to talk to retailers and the manufacturers, and then started spitting out news releases suggesting that they've been on top of this for months and that they're trying to quickly solve the problem. Bottom line, the FDA says that one of these manufacturing facilities has now been able to boost supply to make up for the one that they had to shut down because of this safety concern. And so they believe now in the coming weeks or months that the supply will get back to where it once was. The problem is it's not there right now, and it won't be for a little while longer. So we put it to them about, is there anything else you can do to hasten imports, or, was there ever consideration in the past of stockpiling this kind of thing in the event of this kind of shortage? And I think they've come to realize this week that there's probably going to have to be some discussions about this kind of a shortage on top of all the other kinds of shortages we've had over the last 2 years or so. But bottom line, they say now that with presidential involvement, presidential authority, presidential blessing to tell the agencies to get, to work on this, in essence, they're trying to streamline the manufacturing, the shipment, the import of this formula to make sure that the supply resumes or gets back to where it was. The other thing they're doing, as you said, is looking out for hoarding to then sell it at an upcharge, or generally encouraging the retailers to somehow control how many any one person can buy when they walk into a store and find it, so that there isn't a huge rush and then another shortage because people suddenly are buying more than they might need at that moment.
So, Ed, the White House obviously says that they are going to be trying to increase foreign imports. But I wonder, I've seen some reporting that suggested it may be tough to get some of those imports from our neighbors, specifically Mexico, because of some provisions in the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. I don't know if that's going to hamper the president's efforts, but who are some of the partners and trading countries that he's looking to import this formula from?
Well, I don't know about that either. So that's the first I'm hearing about it. But I do know that Abbott has said, and Adriana reported this last night, that they're shipping in more of the formula they make in Ireland, and to try to smooth out the supply concerns. And so we'll see if that helps. The other thing that's still under consideration here, we asked about this yesterday, is the potential use of the Defense Production Act, right, which, of course, has been used in recent years to accelerate the production of ventilators and other equipment during the pandemic. What's to say it's not applicable in this case? The White House isn't ruling out the possibility that if this shortage continues for a little while, if they see an ability to quickly get some kind of manufacturing facility to ramp up production of this, that perhaps we'll see them exercise that clause and make use of it. But this is another, and the other thing they point out, and I think this is important to remember, the FDA spotted this safety concern, shut down the plant because of it. That's a big part of why this shortage began. So in essence, they're saying the FDA did its job. Right. Whether all the details of that get sorted out, whether they overreached, whether there were some other concerns, whether they waited too long to alert everybody to the potential supply shortage, that's to be sorted out. But it's important to remember that this started with a safety concern, and we're now dealing with the effects of it, and it's going to be something that lingers for a while.
You bring up such an important point, Ed, and we must be on a mind meld, because as you were talking, I was thinking of exactly that, which is that the FDA, because of those safety concerns at the Abbott Labs, and Anne-Marie, you and I had a former FDA Associate Commissioner here yesterday explaining this to us, that it was because the federal government was actually doing the right thing. I mean, it's one thing to have a baby shortage. It would have been another crisis if babies started to get sick because of the formula that was coming out of this plant. So, Ed, your point about the federal, it's this weird thing where the federal government's doing the right thing, but it's having this adverse effect. And as you say, and as the former FDA director said to us, maybe is the question of should it have been alerted earlier.
Well, and the challenge that he said that this country is facing is that manufacturing of formula is too consolidated, right? So we have one plant that's responsible for so much of the volume, and so that plant shuts down, and suddenly we find ourselves, in this place. What I was thinking was they need to send some of those upset babies to the White House. We'll see how quickly they figure out the problem. If you've ever had to deal with, more than one upset baby, you'll figure out how to solve it.
You've got kids. You know what that's all about.
Absolutely. That might hasten things. You're right.
Ed O'Keefe at the White House. Happy Friday, my friend. It's good to see you.
You too. Take care.
Thank you.